Si Nico Fabian po, once again, nandito na naman sa Saturday edition natin po. And of course, today is December 28 na, Saturday na Saturday. Kumusta kayo po? And of course, I'm inviting all of you to join in my Saturday episode dito sa Nick Talk, The Real Talk with Nico. And sino ba ang birthday ngayon? Ha? Who is celebrating the birthday today? Ha? Swerte, no? Sabado, birthday na birthday. And of course, I hope you will really enjoy ang birthday ninyo po dahil po, malapit na ang New Year. Malapit na ang New Year. Happy birthday to each and every one of you kung nasaan man kayo or sino man kayo. And sana lang you will really enjoy itong birthday ninyo, December 28. Happy birthday to each and every one of you. And those who are celebrating also any special occasions po ngayon, Saturday, na? Sana lang po your celebration, very special day ninyo po ngayon. Sana lang po you will really celebrate it in a very sabihin natin, good spirit, and it will be enjoyable, memorable, and problem-free celebration. So, ganun na lang ba? No? Ang birthday natin, ang mga celebration natin, siguro hindi na importante ang mga pagkain kasi dahil tayo, galing tayo sa Christmas, ang daming pagkain, ano? Ang daming pagkain. And of course, make sure, dahan-dahan lang tayo po sa pagkain natin dahil especially itong mga senior citizens, no? And yung mga may sakit, be careful ang food intake natin, especially during this Yuletide season. Maraming tayong mga parties, maraming tayong mga pagkain, and daming karne, no? Yung mga high blood, may heart disease, diabetes, or anuman, no? Ingat-ingat lang tayo dahil alam na natin, we have to take good care of our, sabihin natin, ang health, natin. Health is wealth, di ba? Health is wealth. Hindi ba, Bong Sebastian? Health is wealth, hindi ba? Kumusta si Bong Sebastian? Si Bong, ang childhood friend ko dyan sa Zamboanga. Naglaro kami ng basketball after ang classes namin, and during Saturday, Sundays, in fact, maskin morning, Saturdays and Sunday morning, mag-knock ngayon sa akin o magsigaw ngayon sa akin sa bahay, sa bahay namin, and to signal that we go and play basketball. Unfortunately, ako po, ayaw sa akin ang basketball. Dahil po siguro sa height ko or ano, and hindi ko talaga, I'm not that keen sa basketball, although I tried my very best. To be a basketball player, pero parang ayaw yata sa akin ang basketball. Si Bong, si Bobong, Sebastian, dyan kami sa Tetuan, he's a good player also. And matangkad yun si Bong, si Bobong. Happy New Year, Weng and family. Yes, Happy New Year to you. Naalaala mo pa yun mga early days natin, no? Mga early days natin dyan sa Tetuan Elementary School. Maglaro-laro tayo ng tapos mayroon pa yan isang babae. I will not mention you ang name, no? Na parang may class yata tayo sa kanya. Yun sa harap ng elementary school ang bahay nila. Pero nasa US na siya ngayon, and she is happily married, no? She is happily married. So, yun Bong, no? Yun Bong. Sometimes very nice to sabihin natin na recall ang mga early days natin, no? Early days natin, childhood days natin po. So, but anyway, Bong, kumusta ka? And Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to you also and to your family, no? To your wife, to your family, to our relatives. Because si Bong is also our relatives, no? Our relatives. So, regards na lang and Godspeed na lang sa family ninyo and mga relatives natin dyan sa Zamboanga. I know Bobong is, I think he's in Manila. I think he's in Manila. So, ingat-ingat lang. Ha? Ingat-ingat lang ang preparasyon natin sa New Year. And mga tao, mga kaibigan ko, mga kababayan ko, especially dito sa Sabah, East Malaysia, particularly dito po sa city of Kota Kinabalu. No? Ang overseas Filipino workers, ang mga senior citizens natin dito po. At saka lahat, even our Malaysian friends, no? Malaysian friends, I would like to say salamat pagi, salamat patang, and salamat malang to each and every one of you overseas Filipino workers in other countries. Yan po, no? Nasa Saudi Arabia ba sila? Sa Qatar ba sila? Sa Lebanon ba sila? Or sa Singapore? Or maybe sa London, sa UK, sa America, masking saan kayo po, mga Filipino, sa overseas Filipino workers, and kababayan ko po, no? I would like to say welcome to my program, and of course, ingat and advance Happy New Year and belated Merry Christmas to each and every one of you. Okay po, today, medyo, medyo ang weather natin dito sa Kota Kinabalu, medyo 50-50 tayo po. 50-50 tayo. Dahil unpredictable itong weather natin. And I was made to understand also dyan sa Pilipinas. No? You're expecting thunderstorm, rain, and strong winds during the weekend. Saturday, Sunday, and siguro po hanggang dyan na sa eve ng New Year and during New Year. Because I noticed also, and it was reported, yes, hunto kanaton si Danilo. Oh, si Danilo Inday. Ha? Taanda kita tumabir aya kanda Lozada. Ito talaga si Bong, ha? Yeah. Si Danilo Inday, saan ta, ha? Saan kaya yun si Danilo Inday, Bong, ha? Never met him anymore. Kumusta kaya ang buhay ni Inday? Tapos, mayroon pa tayo yung kaibigan. Si, ano ba yung pangalan, Bong? Si Clem, what? Clem, I don't know. Ang tata niya is working dyan sa lumberyard. Yun, maitim siya. At saka, mayroon pa isa. Yun si, nakalimutan ko ang pangalan. Yun, yun, ang kapatid niya matigas din dyan sa community natin. Sa community natin. Nakalimutan. But anyway, sige lang. Very nice to remember ang mga old good days natin. Old good days. And I'm very proud of you, Bong. Si Bong Sebastian is one of the officials dyan sa, if I'm not mistaken, sa Labor Department dyan sa Maynila. And he was assigned in Zamboanga City when I was there a few years ago in Zamboanga City. I was doing a little business. And that's where I met Bong's Labor Department. He was the head of Zamboanga City office. I don't know if I'm correct, if my memory will not fail me, doesn't fail me, no? Anyway, sige Bong, tuloy natin ang programa natin, and of course, buenos dias contigo, buenos dias con el día tu mga pariente, y también con el día tu mga primos y hermanas, hermanos y hermanas Alina Zamboanga, Alina Zamboanga. Ojalá one of these days, elchen también kita oportunidad para manunto-hunto, maski hindi na kita tatuma, or pwede pa kita tuma maski buko lang dahil sa age natin po, sa age natin. Sige Bong, thank you very much for being supportive sa programa ko. Okay, let's talk about, sana tayo, parang nakalimutan ko na sana tayo. Yes, all ang mga Filipino overseas Filipino workers, ang mga senior citizens, ang mga PWD, ang people of with disabilities, ang mga pregnant woman, ang mga pregnant lalaki, mayroon pa yan, ang mga natin, lahat kayo mga Pilipinas, be it here in Malaysia or be it in the Philippines or be it elsewhere, Godspeed sa inyong lahat. Now, today I'll be talking something about a very important issue po, no? A very important issue po dyan sa Pilipinas. And I believe that each and every one of us, mga Filipinos, mga taxpayers, no? Mga Filipinos, no? It's only but important for us. It's only but important for us, sabihin natin, to at least hear what is happening, learn what is happening, and observe and see ano ba ang ano natin, ano ba ang sitwasyon dyan sa atin sa Pilipinas. Ate Fabs, good morning to you, and ang daughter-in-law ko ito po, si Chris Malin Mohammed dyan sa Tawi-Tawi. I would like to say also, Chris, thank you very much. I received your message sa Facebook, and belated happy birthday. Happy birthday, yes, happy birthday din, at saka Merry Christmas and advance happy New Year to you, to your husband si Jem, ang mga bata, and at saka lahat na dyan po, your parents, no? Your parents, kindly pass my message, my greetings sa mga parents ninyo and sa mga relatives ninyo, that you are part in my sabihin natin 4 windows sa heart ko po, no? Sa heart ko. So I love you, all of you. I love you, and ingat lang kayo po, especially that we are ending the year. Kumusta ang trabaho ninyo? Sana okay lang kayo po, no? And keep in touch, please Malin, keep in touch lang sa atin, ha? Sayang, wala kayo dito sa Kota Kinabalu. Sana we can have some family bonding, no? Family bonding dito sa KK in this very special Yuletide season. And anyway, mayroon pa ibang panahon, mayroon pa ibang Christmas and New Year next year. So siguro po, we'll do that. Reunion natin po sa next year na lang. Good morning po, watching from Tawi-Tawi, Philippines. Yon ang sabi ni Chris Malin Mohammed Fabian. Chris Malin Mohammed Fabian. Yes, good morning to you. And yun po, today I will be touching your issue, na very important issue po, that every Filipinos, especially taxpayers, no? And of course, senior citizens, yun mga may sakit, PWD, and everybody. And I'm referring to the issue of itong proposed national budget ng Filipinas for 2025. Controversial ito po, and I was made to understand, and it was officially announced that our president, the beloved president, Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr. will be signing the proposed national budget for 2025 sa Pilipinas, ng Pilipinas, sa next week. Next week ba yan? Yeah, on Monday. No? Ang problema lang po, ang national budget natin maraming problema. Some are saying some of the items that are included sa budget was or is or are unconstitutional. Ano yan po. But later on, I'll be touching on that thing, and I will be sharing with you. Yes, Tuan and YB. YB, sabihin natin, assemblyman natin dyan sa Tawi-Tawi pala, no? Si Honorable Geoffrey Sale. Geoffrey Sale. Kumusta, Honorable Geoffrey Sale? And I would like to extend my Merry Christmas and advance Happy New Year po kay Honorable Geoffrey Sale, ang kaibigan ko dyan. Very young leader in Tawi-Tawi, and a very promising leader din po sa Tawi-Tawi, no? And yes, if I'm not mistaken, he's the ABC president dyan sa Tawi-Tawi provincial government. Provincial government. And I would like to say good morning to you. Salamat pagi, Tuan Geoffrey, and good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Salamat pagi, salamat patang, and salamat malam to you and to your wives, and of course, your children and the entire family of Sally, especially also, special greetings also to, sabihin natin, ang governor ng Tawi-Tawi. And I'm referring to Governor Ismael Mang Sally, who is a very good leader also po. Very, sabihin natin, very concerned sa interests and welfare of every Tawi-Tawians. And not only Tawi-Tawians, but also the whole population of Barm, and of course, the entire nation of the Philippines. Ingat kayo po, and lapit ng election, and if you need my help, Honorable Geoffrey Sally, no? And the rest ng mga kaibigan ko po dyan sa Tawi-Tawi, mga politicians, just let me know. Maybe I can include whatever advocacy you have during the campaign period next year. During the campaign period next year, just let me know. And yeah, in terms of publicity sa media po, no? Both Malaysia and in the Philippines, I can be of help to you po. No? Kailangan ng mga tao, but not much na kay Honorable Geoffrey Sally, no? His performance, no? The past term, na his performance is laudable, laudable. Walang problema tayo dyan sa re-election ni Honorable Geoffrey Sally, because he did a good job. Yun ba ang ano natin po? If mga re-electionists, mga aspirants, if you did a good job, wala kayong problema po. Wala kayong problema to convince the public to give you another term. Kaya ni Honorable Geoffrey Sally. Magsukol ni Kang Kamemon, Geoffrey Sally, for a job well done. A job well done. Okay. Tuloy natin po. Tuloy natin po ang ligaya natin on this very beautiful Saturday morning. Po. Okay. Now, I was mentioning about the national budget, and later on, I will be sharing with you itong mga recorded footages coming from mga experts, mga politicians, that includes Justice Antonio Carpio, no? Ang sabihin natin, Madam Shelo Magno she is one of the Shelo Magno is one of sabihin natin economists dyan sa UP yata yun, no? Department of sa University of the Philippines ba yun? Sandali, I will check ang record ko. Si Madam Shelo, Madam Shelo Magno. Madam Shelo Magno, UP School of Economics, no? UP School of Economics ang Professor Shelo Magno. And of course, mayroon din tayo, I will be sharing with you ang comments, observations, reaction of the chairman of UST, Department of Political Science, si Professor Dennis Coronacion, regarding itong issue natin po sa national budget. Will the President veto ang some items dyan sa national budget come Monday or what? Tingnan natin po. But before, since we are waiting until Monday, no, gusto ko lang po, I just want to, Assalamualaikum, Sir Nick. Salamat pagi and happy holidays. Yes, thank you very much, Honorable Geoffrey Sally. Sabi pa nga si Chris Malin, salamat dua, Sir Geoffrey Sally. Alright, okay, alright, see. Okay, so, ganun po, no? I will be sharing with you some recorded footages po, and so at least ang mga viewers ko, especially dito sa Sabah, mga Filipinos, overseas Filipino workers, they will see, they will have a clear picture kung ano talaga ang national budget natin. Is it good for us? Is it good for the Filipino community? For the Filipino nation? For the entire 150 or 120 million Filipinos? Yun po. Controversial issue ito po. But anyway, sige lang, later on, I'll be touching on that. In the meantime, Joseph, oh yes, brother, good morning to you, and belated happy birthday to my senior and my idol sa journalism dito po sa Sabah, si Joseph Binkasan. Yes, good morning to you po. And yeah, what happened? If you need some help in terms of articles, paano tayo po? How can I share with you? Para at least, support din tayo ang mga efforts, being a very professional and well-respected journalist, senior journalist, ito si Joseph Binkasan, very senior sa akin, and yeah, saludo ako sa kanya po, no? And yeah, just let me know if you still need my help in terms of news contribution. Nandito lang po ako, no? Nandito lang po ako. And yes, don't worry. We work together. Good morning, Nico Fabian. Yes, good morning also to Joseph Sosobrado, John's another colleague ko, no? Member of the media fraternity, dyan sa Pilipinas, particularly dyan sa Zamboanga City. Very well respected din po, very active, a young media man, TV newscaster, TV reporter, si Joseph Sosobrado, no? Joseph Sosobrado. Nasa TV siya, nasa radio siya, and I always monitor his program. So, I would like to say belated Merry Christmas and advance Happy New Year to Joseph as well as to his wife and relatives and the entire family of, ano ba yan? Ano yung station nila? Media, ano ba yan? Joseph, ang boss natin, candidate to be the next councilor dyan sa Zamboanga City. No? So, hindi yun RPN eh. RPN, no, it's not RPN. Medyo na tayo, Joseph, 65 years old na tayo. Sometimes ang memory natin fails. But anyway, E-Media. E-Media ba yan? Yes, to the family of E-Media dyan sa Zamboanga, I would like to say advance Happy New Year and belated Merry Christmas to each and every one of you. All right. Okay. Now, before going to our main agenda or main topic natin for Saturday edition po, let me touch a little bit on some good news. Good news ito po, not only dito sa Malaysia, but also good news din po dyan sa Pilipinas. Very important news. But before I give you that very important news, I just want to also pass this information. No? I'm very happy that ang Sabah Immigration Department natin managed to conduct another deportation exercise for the Filipinos this week. No? Just recently. And yeah, with the help of the new route that we have from Lahad to Bongao, a total of 180 deportees, Filipino deportees were sent home from Lahad, from Lahad to Bongao the other day. And yeah, I was made to understand ang expenses, ang tickets nila, they shoulder their own a ticket. Ang maganda dyan po is that despite we are having problems with the Zamboanga Sandakan ferry services kasi ang vessel is on dry dock now, doing some dry dock in Zamboanga City. Now, we were thinking, it will be very unfortunate for our deportees. They won't be able to go back. To be deported to the Philippines or to their motherland or to their respective provinces, municipalities in the Philippines because of the suspension of the ferry services di Zamboanga Sandakan. But luckily po, mayroon tayong another transportation, another ferry transportation po, no? Lahat to Bonggao, maskin it's not in big figure or volume of deportees, pero pwede na yan po. The other day, this month alone, I think every week, no? We saw the deportation of Filipinos, mayroon na 180, 130, no? At this, those who were deported before Christmas, they are now, or they managed to be reunited with their families and loved ones and spend Christmas together with them dyan sa Pilipinas. And for those who just left this week, no? I would say I'm very happy that at least now you're in the Philippines and you will be able to enjoy, celebrate the New Year celebration next week together with your loved ones, families, and relatives. Yun lang po. But yeah, the Sabah Immigration Department is reiterating that those deported are now blacklisted. Kaya po, those who wants, Filipinos who wants to come to Sabah, no? Who wants to come to Sabah or Malaysia or any parts in Malaysia, make sure po that you are coming in with the proper documents. Be it, of course, if you want to be a tourist, yes, automatic tourist visa po. But those who wants to stay longer, work here po, make sure that you are properly documented, especially you have these work permits. And make sure that once you are working here, obey the land of the law of the land. Ganon yun po. Para wala tayong problema. In fact, Malaysians, the Malaysian government welcome foreigners, welcome Filipinos dito po sa Malaysia, provided you are properly documented. Don't believe itong mga promises ng mga illegal recruiters po, because sayang po ang mga efforts ninyo, time, and it is too risky to come into Sabah via the back door. Considering the unpredictable weather condition and you are traveling sa open sea po, it is not advisable. Please don't do that. Okay? Tuloy natin po. That's my first news para sa mga Filipinos dyan, mga relatives na mayroon na deportees or nahuli sa kanila without the illegal, without the proper documents. Now, and I think by next week, mayroon na naman po, no? Deportation exercise from Lahadatu to Bonggao. And those not from Bonggao, once you reach Tawi-Tawi or the municipality of Bonggao, now you can go to your respective municipalities or provinces, kagaya sa Sulu, Basilan, Zamboanga, sa mga peninsula, even Visayas, and back to Luzon. So, ganun na po. Okay, the other thing that I would like to touch, and I a few seconds ago, I was saying about the good news ito po, both for Malaysians and Filipinos. Particularly po, itong mga businessmen natin po, no? Malaysian businessmen and of course, Filipino businessmen. And of course, the consumers, Filipino consumers dyan sa Philippines po. Listen carefully po, no? Listen carefully itong information that I'm going to give to you po, no? I'm going to pass to you. Sabihin natin, pass to you. Saan ito po? Okay, yes. Hold on for a while. This is something that I would like to share sa mga participants, sa mga audience ko po in today's, sabihin natin, episode. Good news ito po. So, let's listen, hold on Ito po, maganda ito po, no? I'm referring to, alam niyo po, we noticed and it was reported both by the Philippine government or respective departments or authorities dyan sa Pilipinas, as well as Malaysian authorities here in Malaysia, but assigned in the Philippines, no? It was reported that Malaysian products pala in the Philippines are being sold like hotcake, like hotcake dyan sa Pilipinas. Any part in the Philippines po. Filipinos accept and welcome and support Malaysian products po, no? In fact, we are expecting the Malaysian government is expecting the volume of Malaysian products sold, brought in sa Pilipinas will further be on the upper trend, no? Will continue to increase. Dahil po, ang Filipino consumers po, mga Filipinos, they really accepted ang quality, ang standard of products ng Malaysia po, no? And ang dami po mga essential items Malaysian products po na you can see dyan sa Pilipinas ngayon. Be it in Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. Mindanao po. So, one thing, ang quality ng Malaysian products po is very good. Accepted ang mga Filipino consumers. Yes, Alvin Tahir, I would like to say also thank you very much for watching, and hope okay. Si Alvin, ang wife niya at saka ang mga relatives niya po, and of course, members of the church. Very active church leader ito, si Alvin. Thank you very much for watching. Advance Happy New Year to you. Okay, Bin, I'm talking about Malaysian products po, no? Yes, like hotcake po, ang Malaysian products dyan sa Pilipinas, no? Dyan sa Pilipinas. The vibrant shelves of Filipino grocery stores are set to become even more diverse as Malaysian grocery products rise in popularity po. Now, this is the news that I managed to get. This is largely attributed to the dedicated efforts of Matrade Manila, Malaysia's national trade promotion agency under the Ministry of Investment, Trade and Industry. The office headed by Trade Commissioner Ms. Intan Zalani has been actively promoting Malaysian products, brands, especially fast-moving consumer goods, or FMCG, in the Philippine market. Po. The Philippines, known for its rich culinary diversity, has embraced various international flavors, and Malaysian cuisine has found a receptive audience. Tingnan niyo po. This is evident in the increasing presence of Malaysian products in local grocery stores and supermarkets. With their unique flavor and the high-quality ingredients, products such as instant noodles, sauces, spices, snacks, and beverages has been popular to the Filipino consumers po, no? And in demand. One of the standout aspect of this growing demand for Malaysian product is the increasing interest in halal Malaysia products. As a Muslim majority country, Malaysia has long been known for its high standard of halal certification, and this is making an impact in the Philippines, where an expanding Muslim population is seeking trusted halal opinions. We are proud to see Malaysian halal certification or certified products finding a place on the shelves of Filipino grocery stores. Sabi po si Ms. Zalani, this is not only meets the growing demand for halal products, but also strengthen the ties between Malaysia and the Philippines by offering consumers safe, trusted, and authentic food choices. Remember po, in 2023 or last year, Malaysia exported a total of 12.5 USD billions worth of halal products globally. For the Philippines market, a total of 0.51 billion USD worth of halal products were exported from Malaysia to the Philippines with products including food and beverages, halal ingredients, and cosmetics, as well as personal care. Okay, Robinson Supermarket po. Very popular supermarket dyan sa Maynila. Or any parts in the Philippines po. Robinson Supermarket and other major supermarkets all over the country have become key retail partners in this initiative. Shoppers can expect to find an array of Malaysian products on the shelves, catering to both traditional and contemporary cooking needs. Yon po. Yon po ang balita natin po for today, and I'm very proud and I'm very happy po. So it's a good news. Good news ito po sa both Malaysia and Philippines. For businessmen dito po sa Malaysia, now you can see, it is officially announced po, no? Although it was repeatedly announced, Malaysian product is well appreciated by the Filipinos dyan sa Philippines. So mga local traders natin po, no? Dito sa Sabah, take advantage of this situation. Take advantage of this situation po. In fact, just recently, I was having a meeting with some manufacturers dito sa Kota Kinabalu po, ang mga manufacturers natin kagaya sa noodles po, no? And they already expressed their intention to capture the market, the Philippine market dyan po, in terms of noodles. When we talk about noodles po, it's not only, in Manila, I was there last month, and I was surveying ang mga groceries stores dyan sa Manila, including itong Robinson, dyan sa Malate, no? And I saw, ang dami po, I saw a lot of Malaysian products dyan sa, sabihin natin, sa Robinson grocery store, supermarket, no? Maganda po. And I'm very, sabihin natin, I was touched, no? Na ang Filipinos also support itong Malaysian products. Before going any further, yes, to my sister in the fraternity, and of course to my cousin, I would like to say belated Merry Christmas to you, Liza Reyno, no? And advance Happy New Year to you, and to my brother, your husband, in Alpha Phi Omega kami po, no? I would like to say also Yuletide greetings to him and to your family. Kumusta si Tita Tills, no? Kumusta si Maymay dyan sa US, sa US, America sila po. So anyway, Lisa, I hope you're doing well. Nurse ito si Lisa po, no? Nurse ito si Lisa, and long time no see, no? I might be, who knows, God willing, I might be in America by next year, early next year, and if I have time, I'll give you a tinkle, and kung may time, I'll go and visit kayo po, no? Pero ano pa lang ito po, no? Plano ito po, and I hope I will not have problems in my US visa po. I'm going to apply. Okay. And anyway, maski malayo kayo po, but you are very close in my heart. So in fact, inside kayo po sa heart ko po. No? Okay, God bless you. Godspeed to your family. Okay, let's go back to our topics, Malaysian products. If you notice po, no? As what I said sa Robinson, I went and I checked. Ang presyo po, ang presyo ng Malaysian products is very reasonable and competitive. No? And competitive. In fact, when you talk about noodles, kung minsan po ang Philippine noodles compared to Malaysian noodles po, kung minsan kung hindi sila parehas na lang ang presyo, kung minsan cheaper pa ang Malaysian products. And you can really see, I'm not putting down ang manufacturers natin sa Pilipinas, but there's one thing I noticed po. Even in packaging ng Malaysian product noodles, for example, maganda talaga po ang packaging ng Malaysian noodles compared sa noodles coming from the Philippines, ang packaging aspect. Packaging aspect. No? So, yun po, that is one item that I just want to sabihin natin, raise dito po sa programa ko po, no? Prices is okay, quality is okay, packaging is okay. No? Packaging is okay. So, yun po, no? In fact, expected tayo po that the volume of Malaysian products dyan po sa Pilipinas next year will further push up. Further push up. So, hindi lang po sa Manila o sa Luzon. You go to Visayas, you go to Cebu, popular din po ang Malaysian products. Mas lalo na po dyan sa Mindanao. Mas lalo na po dyan sa Mindanao, even sa Davao. You go to Sambasuta area, for example, Zamboanga, Basilan, Sulu, and Tawi-Tawi po. Ang Malaysian products po, dyan sa Tawi-Tawi, I tell you, ang dami po, abundant of Malaysian products po. And karamihan nga po ng tao sa Tawi-Tawi, they eat more Malaysian products compared to the Philippine products po, no? Including ito ng gasolina natin po, cheaper pa po, no? Even in Zamboanga, I notice whenever I go to Zamboanga, nakikita ko po ang mga friends ko, mga relatives ko, they will say, Kuya Nico, if you come down to Zamboanga, huwag mo kalimutan, Maggi Mee or any Malaysian products. And maskin sa groceries dyan sa KCC, dyan sa SM sa Zamboanga, dyan sa Shaporama, mga groceries din niyo po, no? I went and checked and nakita ko talaga po na it is true. Ang dami tayo po mga Malaysian products dyan sa area ninyo po, no? Sa area ninyo. So that's good. That's good. So take advantage, my friends, businessmen, Malaysian businessmen or Sabahan businessmen. This is very important information that I would like to pass to you. If you are manufacturing itong Malaysian products po dito sa Sabah, then you have a very big market dyan sa Pilipinas. Dyan sa Pilipinas. Don't think about the entire Philippines. You can also even focus dyan lang po, even in Mindanao or the BAM area. In the BAM area. Malaki ang market. Market in a BAM area. Just imagine, the population of BAM is something like 32-33 million. Diyan po ang buying power dyan sa BAM. And we are also talking about Zamboanga Peninsula area po. Ang dami pong tao. Ang dami tayong consumer. And it is not difficult to promote ang Malaysian products dyan sa Pilipinas dahil po known and accepted na po ang Malaysian products dyan sa Philippines. And yes, I also want to salute ang efforts and aggressiveness in promoting Malaysian products dyan sa Pilipinas po, thanks to the efforts of the BIMEGA Business Council ang Sabah, spearheaded by Dr. Raymond Alfred, no? Dr. Raymond Alfred, and all the members of the BEBC, Sabah po, no? They are very active when it comes to promoting Malaysian products. Remember po, when I made how many trips dyan sa Palawan, for example po, no? I tell you, ang dami po ang Malaysian products. So you can even consider Mindanao or Zambasuta area plus BARM, and also ang Palawan province po, no? Palawan province, any goods coming from Sabah going to Palawan, the distance is very near. Transportation cost is cheap, no? Same thing with Sabah to southern Mindanao or to Zambasuta area po, no? It will only take from Lahadatu to Bongao, it will only take 3 or 4 hours ferry. And if we are going to have ferry operation from Kudat to Palawan, So it's another 3 or 4 hours lang po. So movement of people, movement of goods, madali and cheaper po. Cheaper and wala tayong problema sa market kasi malaki ang market dyan sa Pilipinas. Maskin itong area lang, Palawan and Mindanao. Okay? So, thanks to the efforts of, sabihin natin, BIMEGA or BEBC Sabah Chairman, si Dr. Raymond Alfred. And of course, credit also should be given ang mga efforts carried out by the Sabah Cross-Border Associations spearheaded by Lady President Razana Pamin. And of course, all the members and the other businessmen, local businessmen dito po sa Sabah, who from time to time, they go down sa Pilipinas. Mga Chinese Chamber Associations dito sa Sabah, Bumiputra Chamber of Commerce from Sabah. From time to time, I see them, they go down to the Philippines, particularly itong area ng Barm at saka ng Sambasulta to scout opportunities, business opportunities. And when we talk about the Philippine products naman dito sa Sabah po, I also noticed and I did some survey na okay po ang Philippine products din natin dito po. In fact, we go to Batarasa grocery dito sa Kota Kinabalu. You go to KCF, grocery store, supermarket. You go to, sabihin natin, survey, supermarket, at other stores dito po sa Kota Kinabalu. You can see also Philippine products. Especially itong mga corned beef natin po. Corned beef, sardines, coming from Zamboanga. Mga chichirias, chocolates, tidbits. Same thing also, Malaysian tidbits are very popular dyan po sa Philippines. Like the Apollo cake. Apollo cake. So, maganda po, sabihin natin trading between Philippines and Sabah. And Sabah. Even in Kuala Lumpur, you can go, one of the malls dyan sa Kuala Lumpur, nakita ko po, there is one mall there, isang building po, lahat ng mga Philippine products din. So, it's not only being supported by the Filipinos community here in Malaysia, but also our host people of this our host country, mga Malaysians, they also support these Philippine products as well as itong mga tourists, foreign tourists, and other foreign migrants dito po sa Malaysia. So that's the issue po, That's the issue, and I'm very happy. Sana lang po it will continue, and we are looking forward for better trading activities between Malaysia, particularly Sabah, and Philippines, particularly those in Mindanao or members of the BIMEGA, Brunei, Indonesia, Malaysia, East Asian growth. East Asian growth. Okay? Congratulations and move on. Move on tayo for 2025. Unfortunately po, itong issue pala, unfortunately, na 90% of this, sabihin natin mga Filipinos mo, bumaba ang percentage rate natin po sa mga Filipino who is looking forward for a better 2025 life. A better New Year. 90, parang bumaba yata, 90% lang po. Compared to the previous year, 2023, 96% tayo po, Pero ngayon, bumaba na po. Ang hope nila to have a better New Year, 2025. Dahil po siguro sa mga problema. Sa mga problema natin po. And anyway, sige lang. Let's move on. Itong, sabihin natin, issue natin. Now, okay, we talk about the budget. Itong budget po. Now, let's talk about budget. Mayroon pa tayong time. And I will try to make it fast lang po, no? Ang budget natin. When we talk about budget, let's listen to, ano ito, let's listen to Professor Shelo Magno, UP School of Economics, professor ito po, no? When we talk about the budget, may interview sa kanya po. And let's listen to this. Let's listen to this. We'll make it fast lang po. 358. Sana yung 358. 358. Nandito po ang interview ni Madam Shelo Magno. Magno po. Let's listen to this.
Dati rin po chairperson ng UP Student Council. Magandang araw, Prof. Shelo.
Magandang araw, Ma'am Malu. Ikaw din ay chair ng Student Council ng UP.
Prof. Shelo, ang 2025 budget in summary, ano ba yung naganap? May dagdag bawas yata. Ano ang nanalo, ano ang natalo ng mga pondo?
Oo, marami pong nangyaring at naganap na dagdag bawas dito sa 2025 proposed national budget natin. No? Unang-una na po dyan yung PhilHealth na lagi nating binabanggit. Tinanggal po yung subsidiya dapat para sa premium ng mga indirect contributors. Yung indirect contributors po natin, ito yung mga mahihirap nating kababayan, yung mga kasama sa 4Ps program, yung ating mga PWDs at yung mga seniors na hindi na nagtatrabaho. Ang dahilan po niyan kung bakit sila may premium ay ang goal ng Universal Health Insurance natin Lahat ng Pilipino dapat naka-enroll sa PhilHealth para protektado tayo sa mga catastrophic na gastusing pangkalusugan. Dahil hindi po sila kayang magbayad, may mga batas po tayo na naka-indicate na specifically naglalaan ng pondo sa PhilHealth. Yan po subsidiya. Tinanggal po. Yan po ay umaabot ng 79 billion pesos. Nakita rin po natin sa diskusyon na nabawasan ng 10 billion. Mahigit 10 billion ang Department of Education. Ito yung budget for computerization. At ang isang pinakamalaking tapyas pa po ay yung 4Ps program. Ito yung ating social protection program. Ito yung talagang ayuda sistema ng gobyerno. Pero gusto ko nga po ding linawin yan kasi nakita nyo naman may press release itong si Speaker Romualdez na ang ayuda daw ay hustisya. Kaya tatanong ko, bakit nawala ng 50 billion pesos yung 4Ps, no? Yung 4Ps po kasi institutionalized social protection program na yan. Malinaw na. Conditional po yan. Bibigyan kayo ng pera ng gobyerno pero kailangan nyo magpagamot, kailangan nyo padala sa eskwelahan yung mga anak nyo, kailangan mag-upgrade ng skills. Kasi malinaw na kapag nagbibigay ng ayuda, kailangan mag-exit program mula sa kahirapan. Dahil anti-poverty, anti-inequality program siya. Diba?
Pagkapilang katla, ano yung mga nadagdagan? Ay, medyo
ano ang mga gainers? Ang pinakamalaking gainers, syempre, ay ang DPWH. Hindi na humihingi ng dagdag na budget, pero nadagdagan pa ng mahigit 200 billion pesos. Syempre, ang mainit na usapin po ay yung AKA program ni Speaker Romualdez na last year ay naisingit na yan. This year po, nagbigay ng 26 billion pesos at ang sinasabing hatian ay 21 billion daw sa House of Representatives at 5 billion para sa Senado. And then meron pa pong ang Senado natin nadagdagan ng sarili nilang budget by 1 billion at ang House of Representatives dinagdagan yung sarili nilang budget by 18 billion. Parang mas malaki yung House of Representatives, no? Pero pag dinivide mo yan per head, malaki yan. Malaki yung sa Senado. So yan po yung mga ilan sa mga malalaking items na nagdagdag bawas dito sa budget po na pinopropose para sa 2025.
Okay.
Yan po ang statement when it comes to the national budget by Professor Shelo Magno. Shelo Magno, who is UP School of Economics a professor. Okay, next to that, another interview carried out kay Justice Antonio Carpio po. Also the same issue. Same issue din po sa budget. Sa budget po. Let's listen to this. And importante din ito po, no? Ano ba si Justice Carpio? Importante ito po. And that's why I want to share this thing to you. Interview sa kanya. Si Justice Carpio. Hold on po, ha? Hold on. Sandali po. Listen carefully to this. And I agree po, no? I agree na may problema when it comes to constitutionality of the national budget po, no? Listen po, nag-explain ito si Justice Carpio, Antonio Carpio or Tony Carpio po. Listen to this.
Yung proposed budget ng Pangulong si Justice Antonio Carpio ay makakausap po natin. Justice Carpio, magandang umaga po. Merry Christmas, sir. Si Peter Atrica dito po sa Balita Patan.
Magandang umaga. Magandang umaga sa mga taga-kinig natin.
Good morning, sir. Merry Christmas po, Justice.
Merry Christmas.
Malaking bagay po na makakasama namin kayo, Justice, kasi ito pong pinag-uusapan ngayon. Puntahan po muna natin yung the fact na hindi pa pinipirmahan at yung proposed budget ng Pangulong Bongbong Marcos. Siyempre, marami pong umaasa na they would like to be able to make sure na constitutional lahat or according to the Constitution, lahat ng mga proposed budgets na nakapaloob doon sa GAA. What do you think, sir? Meron nga ba talagang kaduda-duda in terms of how constitutional the provisions are for this 2025 budget?
Dalawang provisions ang nagtamahan ng Constitution. Una-una, nakalagay sa Ligang Batas, education should be given the highest budgetary allocation, highest budgetary priority. Dito sa 2025 proposed budget na na-approve ng BICAM at ng Congress, mas malaki yung DPWH by mga 300 billion plus, no? So, that's a violation of the provision na dapat ang pinakamalaking budget yung sa education. Ang ginawa nila, tinanggal nila yung computerization budget ng education, kaya at saka linagay nila doon sa DPWH, kaya lumobo yung budget ng DPWH for farm to market road, for flood control, mga ganyan.
Opo, pero ang sabi nung kausap po namin, pag sinabi naman daw na education, it does not refer only to the Department of Education. Manapa yung iba pong ahensya kasama like TESDA, etc. CHED, ganun. Tama po ba yung interpretasyon na yun na all together they should get the highest budget allocation?
Tama yun. Dapat the entire budget for it. Kasi dati, yung Department of Education, isang department lang yan, pero hinati nila, nagkaroon ng higher education. Pero education pa rin yun. Pero ang alam ko, kahit na ipagsama mo yun, mas malaki pa rin yung DPWH.
Okay. So, ibig sabihin...
Tingin ko hindi ako sigurado, pero tingin ko, ganyan.
Opo. So, specific po talaga na under one umbrella, pag sinabing education, the total budget should be higher than any other government agency. And specific po yun sa ating konstitusyon.
Nakalagay kasi education should be given the highest priority. Yung education naman, it can be elementary, high school, college, or graduate, basta education.
But concerned ko rin din kasi, Justice, no, na may mga budget allocation din na tinanggalan, binawasan, katulad ng PhilHealth na wala talaga. Ang dahilan ay dahil nagpabaya sila because may mga kamaliang naganap. Can this be a reason, knowing na malaki po ang pangangailangan ng mga Pilipino para sa healthcare?
Well, ang tingin ko hindi pwedeng rason yan dahil sabi rin ng Constitution, yung health bigyan ng priority. No? Ang ginawa nila, hindi nila binigyan na kahit na isang sentimos yung health, yung PhilHealth. So, hindi priority yun. Dapat at least binigyan mo ng something, no? Ngayon, nakalagay rin Internal Revenue Code, automatically binibigay yan sa PhilHealth. Hindi na dadaan yan sa GAA. Ngayon, as a matter of form, ginagawa nila, linalagay nila sa GAA, at saka kinikredit nila as part of the GAA. Well, okay lang, presentation lang yan. Kaya lang problema ngayon, hindi nila binigay. So parang inamend nila yung Internal Revenue Code na wala na yung share ng PhilHealth sa sin taxes. Hindi na makukuha. So yun ang problema. Kasi hindi nila tinutupad yung sariling batas nila. Kasi sabi ng batas na pinasa ng Kongreso, ang PhilHealth may share sa sin taxes. Ngayon, hindi nila binigay dito sa budget na ito. So, hindi nila sinusunod yung sarili nilang batas. Hindi pwede yun kasi yung General Appropriations Act, hindi pwede mag-amend ng ibang batas eh.
Ayun.
Dahil
Okay, that's it. Si Justice Antonio Tony Carpio commenting on the national budget when he was interviewed po. Another one I want to share with you, itong footage po coming from Professor Dennis Coronacion. Dennis Coronacion is the chairman of UST, Department of Political Science. Sabi niya may backlash daw ito po, no? Ang desisyon ni sabi natin ni President Ferdinand Marcos kung sakali po mag-veto siya ang some items diyan po sa proposed national budget natin po sa Pilipinas. It will affect ang mga politicians kasi kailangan sila ng tulong itong budget na ito, mga issues in certain issues po sa budget po, kailangan sila to win in the election. Tingnan natin po ang interview and comment of Dennis Coronacion. Dennis Coronacion po, no? Si Dennis Coronacion, saan ba yan? We'll see, sandali. Okay. Let's listen to this. Listen to this po. Importante ito. This is the reason why I am showing these things sa iyo po. Especially tayo, mga overseas Filipino workers, no? We have to know this thing. Dahil we are also playing a very vital role dyan sa economy natin sa Pilipinas because we remit money. And our remittance every year, no? Or monthly, no? It helps ang economy ng Pilipinas. So, nandito po. Let's listen to this.
Political Science Professor.
Kaya yung pinansinan na kapag may mga binito silent sa mga items ng ating Pangulo sa proposed budget, maaaring mataas yung ilan sa kanyang mga kaalyado sa House of Representatives.
Posibleng magresulta ng backlash o pag-atras ng suporta ng ilang mambabatas kay Pangulong Ferdinand Marcos Jr. ang kanyang pag-veto o hindi pag-aproba sa ilang probisyon o items ng 2025 General Appropriations Bill o GAB. Ayon sa political science professor na si Dennis Coronacion, maaaring mangyari ang senaryo na ito kapag hindi kasamang maaaprubahan ang mga isiningit na proyekto o programa ng ilang mambabatas na inaasahan nilang makatutulong sa kanilang pagtakbo sa paparating na 2025 midterm elections.
Inaasahan na ng ating mga mambabatas, lalo pag karamihan sa kanila ay sasalang sa parating midterm elections. So, iniisip nila na makatulong ito sa kanila, sa kanilang campaign, sa kampanya sa eleksyon, upang tumaas yung kanilang chances na manalo.
Naging kontrobersyal ang 2025 budget dahil sa zero allocation sa subsidiya para sa Philippine Health Insurance Corporation o PhilHealth, 12 billion peso budget cut sa Department of Education. Pinuna rin ng President's sister na si Senator Amy Marcos ang sobrang laking budget na inilaan sa Department of Public Works and Highways na nagkakahalaga ng 1.113 trillion pesos. Kaya naman ayon kay Professor Coronacion, malaking hamon sa Pangulo ang pag-aproba sa panukalang budget.
So maraming pinapadaan sa Pangulo actually sa budget at una yung consideration yan na kinakailangan talungin nila yung mga kandidato ng Duterte family sa parating na eleksyon. Pangalawa yung dapat hindi mag-violate sa Constitution. Bakit pa yung public backlash yung sinasabi na parang napakagili nila at masyadong self-serving itong minumungkahin na national budget.
Ayon kay Executive Secretary Lucas Bersamin, masusing nirepaso ang panukalang pondo sa susunod na taon upang umayon ito sa konstitusyon. Maingat niya na pinag-aralan ang iba't ibang items na nakapaloob sa proposed budget. Nais rin niya ng Pangulo na makatiyak na mapaglalaanan ng sapat na pondo ang mga ahensya at programa ng pamahalaan. Sa Lunes ay nakatakdang paglagda ng Pangulo sa 2025 GAP pagkatapos ng Rizal Day program sa Maynila. Nel Maribuko, UNTV News and Rescue, Diyos ang aming sandigan, serbisyo publiko ang aming pinahalagahan.
Okay, yun po ang comments, opinion ni Professor Dennis Coronacion, ang chairman ng UST, Department of Political Science. Yun na po, sabi niya, no? Sabi niya na parang self-serving itong national budget proposal nila po, wherein they included some items doon which questionable. Questionable po, no? And kung hindi ito matuloy, parang it will affect ang candidacy ang campaign ng mga kandidato sa grupo nila po, no? Anong grupo? Grupo ni those are supporting the administration, Marcos administration. So, yun po. So, wala na tayong time, no? Wala na tayong time. Siguro, I will share with you another last footage na ito po, no? Last footage na ito po, talking about veto power. Veto power ni Bongbong Marcos. Veto power ni Bongbong Marcos. Sandali po. Veto power ni Bongbong Marcos. Ano ito? Hold on for a while, Veto power ni Bongbong Marcos. Okay, ito po. This will be my last footage for this Saturday episode, no? And of course, I still believe that you have to watch this thing. Ito po. Let's listen to this.
Mawawala yun sa budget. Hindi pwede ang presidente, pwede niya lang i-veto yung line item. Pwede niya i-veto yung budget ng DPWH or let's say farm to market.
Si Justice Carter pa rin talking,
Yung nandito na amount, mawawala yun sa budget. Hindi pwede itagdag sa education yun. Kailangan ng supplemental budget. Papasaulin yung Congress ng supplemental budget. Hindi pwede ilipat ng presidente. Pwede niya lang i-veto. Pero pag binito niya, mawawala sa budget.
Di po ba yung pwede kunin dun sa unappropriated na napakalaki?
Yeah, so I don't know how the president will do it kasi hindi niya pwede ilipat Hindi niya pwede ilipat from DPWH to education. Pwede niya lang i-veto. Mawawala sa entire budget yun.
Opo. Justice, meron na pong nagsasabi nga na true or not, na this is probably the most corrupt budget in history. Dahil ang dami-dami pong mga kine-question ng mga items, hindi lang sa DepEd, pati dito sa Department of Health o PhilHealth. Yun nga, yung unappropriated funds, etc. Pwede po bang mangyari i-reenact na lang yung budget and then while binubusisi pa itong proposed 2025 budget?
Pwede i-veto ni Presidente yung entire budget so reenacted, no? Reenacted yung 2024. Sandali lang yan mga 1 or 2 months lang yan. So hindi perwisyo yan.
Opo. Well, and let me end, at least on my part, Justice, by asking, kasi sa tindi ng mga dinaranas natin at ilang taon na tayong talagang binubuli satisfied po personally sa binibigay, inilalaan na budget para sa ating defense and Philippine Coast Guard in particular?
Hindi. Dahil ang original proposal ng Office of the President, National Expenditure Program, 50 billion ang budget for the modernization. Kinatasan nila ng 15 billion. So, bumaka to the 35 billion, no? So, hirap nga tayo ngayon dahil lakas naman ng naval fleet ng China, pinupuli tayo, hindi natin parang pinawasan pa ng Kongreso yung budget, yung proposal. So,
Opo.
dapat ibalik nila yun.
Oh, yun.
Ibalik nila yung 15 billion.
So, okay. So, in other words, mukhang yung resulta ng BICAM, ano po, it produced more questions
Yes.
than answers, ano? Oo.
Yeah.
Needs
Opo.
clarification.
Binawasan nila tinampisan nila yung budget ng modernization. Yun ang pinaka-importante ngayon.
Yeah.
Defending our territory and maritime zone.
Opo. Tsaka kahit na symbolic lang sana, paramdaman man lang ng China na seryoso tayo sa pagbuboost ng
Pag-defend?
ating
Oo.
defense. Ano po? Oo. Justice Carby, maraming sa...
Okay, well, thank you very much. Yun po ang statement ni Justice Carpio when it comes to the veto power of President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos tungkol sa proposed national budget. And of course, on Monday, it was announced that the President will be signing the documents of the proposed national budget po for 2025 ng Pilipinas. Let's see po kung anong resulta dyan, what are the things that they omitted or amended, no? And ano ang reaction ng mga concerned citizens o concerned Filipinos po, no? Dyan sa Pilipinas. And of course, tayo din, mga overseas Filipino workers sa iba-ibang nasyon. This is an issue that we should be very aware and look into it, monitor properly, and because it will in many ways affect ang Pilipinas in terms of the economy, livelihood, life of every Filipinos po, no? Of every Filipinos. And of course, whether this is ang mga amendments or mga insertions dyan sa national budget, proposed national budget, are constitutional or not. Because some politicians were saying in the event that they will push through with this proposal, then they will be filing a case, no? Dyan sa Supreme Court. Yan. So, yan po. Yan po ang problema pa rin sa atin po. Hopefully, let's all pray na everything will run smoothly po for the betterment of the Philippine nation and for the betterment of every Filipinos, no? Every Filipinos. And lastly, I would like to say na long holiday dyan sa Pilipinas, and I was made to understand ang mga international airports natin po dyan sa Manila and other airports in the Philippines, ang bus terminals as well as ports, ferry ports natin po, mga pantalan natin dyan sa Pilipinas, once again crowded with people because of the long holiday, no? Nag-umpisa yun na increase sa number of passengers yesterday dahil po because of our long holiday, no? Para sa New Year celebration. So if I'm not mistaken, Saturday wala tayong pasok, Sunday, and then Monday holiday din, Bonifacio Day, and eve of New Year, that will be Tuesday, and Wednesday will be New Year celebration day. So it's a long holiday, and a lot of people are taking advantage of this long holiday to be with their loved ones or families and relatives dyan sa mga probinsya nila, respective provinces, municipalities, cities, or kung saan po dyan sa Pilipinas. So ingat lang tayo po. Make sure that you purchase your ticket, your respective tickets, and ingat lang sa biyahe. ingat lang sa biyahe. Nandiyan ang mga local authorities natin, make sure that everything will run smoothly. Safety first, safety first of passengers po, no? I would like to remind ang mga mga Filipino passengers dyan sa Pilipinas. Dito din sa Sabah, sa Kota Kinabalu, if mga Filipinos, mga kababayan ko, you want to go and see your relatives na sa ibang district or municipalities, na medyo purchase your ticket early and make sure that you are safe. Ang mga drivers, mga pilots natin, mga who is manning our transportation, public transportation, make sure that your vehicles are in tip-top condition po. Tip-top condition. Mga Filipinos who are traveling during the holidays, now make sure that you bring your documents, personal documents po. Ang mga work permits ninyo, ang mga passport ninyo, para kung may roadblock, may mga checking on the way po, no? At least you have something to present to the authorities concerned. And para hindi kayo ma-problema po sa biyahe. Ingat lang po sa this coming few more days, may belief na we have to be very careful this a few days because we are ending the year na po. We are ending the year and we are ending the year and let's prepare the list ang mga New Year's resolutions natin po. Huwag natin kalimutan. Yung mga mabigat na po, huwag na mang-include sa lista natin, no? Kung hindi kaya sabihin natin to fulfill, di wag na lang po, no? Wag na lang po. So, hanggang dito na lang tayo. May na tayo, no? Medyo mahaba na tayo konti itong Saturday episode natin. But anyway, I'm very happy that once again, I managed to be with you this Saturday, beautiful morning Saturday. And sige lang po, ingat-ingat. And I will try to visit some places siguro mamaya or tomorrow. I-check din natin po ang mga prices of fruits dito po sa Kota Kinabalu. So at least you will have an idea because we always believe that when the New Year comes, kailangan tayo magbili o prepare o maglagay tayo sa table natin, sa mga bahay natin, ang mga rounded fruits. No? Rounded fruits, ano ba? Tumaas na ba ang presyo ng fruits natin? O wala? Sa Pilipinas, I was made to understand, yes po, grabe na ang presyo dyan sa Pilipinas when it comes to buying fruits. Mga bilog na fruits, rounded fruits po, no? Kasi sabi nila, it give luck to us, especially when we usher or welcome the New Year, ang 2025. So with this, I would like to say once again, thank you very much for making me a part of your day today. Ingat kayo po. Ingat kayo po wherever you are or wherever you are going. And before I will end this episode, I would like to shout out muna tayo po si Mary Lou Pintojo, Fabian, ang better half ko po. She wants to greet each and every one of you. Good morning and of course, belated Merry Christmas and advance Happy New Year. Coming from Mary Lou Pintojo and of course from me and our family. So with this, sabi ko, once again, I would like to say thank you very much for making me a part of your day today. Ingat kayo po. Malaysia, Sabah, the Philippines. Godspeed. God bless us all. Take good care of yourself and bye. See you tomorrow.